Okay, welcome to Free to Being podcast. Is the podcast that is dedicated to looking at alternative ways to deal with mental health other than the traditional way. And today is a wonderful podcast, and I'm here seated with a very special person. She's special, and you'll find out why very soon. She is a Reiki specialist or practitioner here in the Norfolk area. Also the national British champion for the World Raw Power Federation and in the 60 to 69 category. Not only that, she also won in 2024 the British, the European, and the world record for power lifts for women in the 60 to 69 category. Welcome with me, Julie Garner. How are you doing?
Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. Yeah, it's so wonderful to have you join me on Free to Being podcast, and you've been an inspiration to me.
Right.
For a very long time. How you never let age to be a barrier in living life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And today we'll just be talking about different things. You do a lot of things, but let's start with Reiki and Reiki specialist.
Okay.
So what got you into this?
Okay. So about maybe 20 years ago, when I started working in the mental health sector, I worked in substance misuse, and we used Reiki as part of treatment.
Oh, okay.
For people who were detoxing from substances, alcohol, drugs. They used to find it quite relaxing. So that was where I first learnt it. And then I just progressed and started bringing it home. I learnt it up to the master's level. So I could use it at home and in my work as well. So that was where it originated from, and that was where I got interested in it.
Oh, okay, that's good. So you've been a practitioner for 20 years now?
About that, yes.
About 20 years now.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they still use it in the NHS? Because that's quite, I don't really know about that.
No, so they do. It is used there's a children's hospital up north, can't remember the name of it. And they use it on the children's ward for the children and for the parents as well. And it is also used in palliative care as well.
Wow.
Cancer patients.
Well, I didn't know that. That's quite interesting that they will be using complementary therapies for this. But that just shows that there's evidence that it works, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is evidence. It's definitely researched and evidenced that it does help people with anxiety, depression, generalised aches, pains, anything really. It is very helpful and relaxing. Okay,
I'm not really familiar with Reiki, to be honest. And before this podcast, I actually did some research, and I found that it's a Japanese therapy that is called the life-giving Rei with life-giving and Ki is to channel or something like that. So what exactly is Reiki?
Reiki is a Japanese word, so if you translate it into English, so Rei means universe and Ki means energy. You hear the word Ki used a lot in China, Japan, within the martial arts form of things. It originated in the Buddhist temples, so they use a lot. Reiki uses a lot of meditation, and the monks also, on their day-to-day routine and life, they use a lot of meditation within and well-being within their daily lives. So that's where it all originated from.
Okay, so just explain to me, for example, if someone does not know about Reiki at all, how would you summarize it in a short way?
So It's basically, it is a hands-on, but you don't have to touch the person. So it's a hands-on treatment. You lay on a treatment bed, and mostly the practitioners, it depends on the practitioner's style, but my style, I start at the head of the person, and then it's not my energy, because a lot of people do think that it's my energy. I get asked the question numerous times, does it drain you? No, it doesn't. It also invigorates and makes me feel good as well when I give it. So you start at the head and you're using the universal energy that's provided to you. It is quite spiritually based, so the spirits provide you with the energy to help so it's a life force energy to help to heal the person who's laying on the table.
Okay, so when you say the spirit gives the energy, it
Yeah.
sounds quite mystical. Do you like see spirits, or how does that really apply? It's like ooh, jugu kind of thing.
So yeah, not quite like
Okay.
not quite like that.
Okay.
But yes, you do feel energy that is within the room when you do Reiki. The practitioner can feel the energy that is in the room, which is the spiritual energy. But it isn't a scary thing. It is quite a nice. It's pleasant for me, and it's pleasant for the person that you're giving it to as well. It isn't a scary sensation at all. It's everybody that has it feels very safe while they're having it.
Okay.
They really do.
And there's something about chakras or something like that.
Yes.
Could you explain what the chakras are in the body, and how does that help well-being, mental well-being?
Yeah. So in Reiki, anything that happens to you physically is usually manifested mentally. So just say, for example, if you were, say, in a relationship and you wanted to move on from that relationship, it wasn't a good relationship, it caused you anxiety and stress. Most people will experience pain in their knees. And this is because mentally they want to step forward, but physically they can't step forward because the mental trauma has
limited them.
Yeah, so it's given pain in their knees, which is stopping them from taking that step forward. So that would be the heart chakra that would be upset and unbalanced. So each chakra, you have 7 chakras that run down the center of your body, and each chakra is connected to our energy field, which is our aura. So the root chakra is the first layer, your abdomen chakra is your next layer, and your heart chakra is your next layer, and so on. So each chakra is a layer of your aura. So when we become diseased with our mental block, that chakra that's connected to that mental block will become unbalanced.
I see.
So then the aura becomes unbalanced and not complete, and it lets in the dis-ease from the outside world, causing the trauma, physical trauma, to the patient.
Wow, that's very deep. And from what you said, it kind of makes sense, because sometimes you see some people and you just say, I don't like the aura around them. So that's like where that kind of thing comes out.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because really, sometimes you can't really explain what you mean, but when you meet someone, you just feel, I don't just feel the aura.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the energy field.
That's their energy field.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, people that go through grief is a good one, because that affects your heart chakra. So that will manifest, you're upset and sad because you've lost somebody. So you find that many people, I mean, you probably have even noticed this in sort of medicine.
Yeah.
Anybody who's lost, like an elderly lady maybe who's lost, she can end up getting a chest infection, fluid on her chest, a heart attack, something within
the
that
heart,
chest area, because that's where bereavement trauma manifests.
Chakra.
Yeah, within that chakra.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay, so next question I wanted to ask is, how has Reiki actually changed you personally? Because I know that I've seen you sometimes, you say that you are going for your own session, your own Reiki session.
Yes.
So how has it changed you, and how has it reinforced that this thing really works?
Yes. So I was an extremely anxious person myself, stressed, suffered with depression. It's quite a long story, but I lost my mum when I was very, very young, about 7 years old, to cancer.
Oh dear.
And then, so it is quite a sad story, but unfortunately, I had a stepmother who also wasn't a very nice person.
Oh dear.
So my upbringing was very traumatic for
suppressive.
me. Yeah. So I ended up suffering with lots of anxiety and depression myself. So when I learned the Reiki and realised how much it actually helped me as a person, that was when I knew that I had to learn it so that I could then provide it to other people to help them. So it developed me. So now I'm totally aware of when I am becoming anxious or depressed.
Yeah.
So I can use the tools that I have from Reiki to help to keep me balanced.
Yeah.
So that I don't end up going, I always call it going backwards, so I don't end up going backwards and becoming anxious, depressed. So you can do, when you learn Reiki, you're able to do it on yourself as well.
Okay.
So you can do self-Reiki to yourself, which you can and should do it on a daily basis, but I will openly admit I don't do it on a daily basis, but I do use it when I need to, when I'm feeling a bit low. It's the first thing I go to help.
So when you're doing a personal Reiki, is it different from meditation?
Yes,
Like
the
taking
person,
deep breaths and all that?
Yeah, so the person actually feels like they are in a relaxed state, that is, they're awake and aware of everything going on around them, but they feel like they're in a deep sleep. It relaxes them down that much.
Okay.
Yeah. It is so calming, calming. And you play nice, relaxing music as well. So, you know, the atmosphere in the room is nice and tranquil, and they feel nice and peaceful. So it helps.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And just wanted to know, do you have any stories about someone, or maybe one or two stories about someone that's come to you for a Reiki session, and the story really resonated with you and made you feel that this is something I should be doing?
Yeah, I have two stories.
Okay.
When I very first started many years ago, doing it sort of at home on a personal basis.
Yes.
I had a young lady who came to me. She had 6 sessions. She suffered with going outside. So she used to have to get her mum to bring her, and then her mum would bring her into the house and then leave. And she had 6 sessions with me. Really anxious lady. And after the 6th session, from out of the blue, she phoned and said, "You will never guess where I am," and because I couldn't. And she was actually in Asda.
Oh wow!
Said, "I have not been in Asda in 5 years."
Oh my God!
Because of her anxiety. Yeah. and it caused her to not be able to go out of the house. So she was over the moon.
Wow.
And I've never seen her from that day onwards. So
she's probably
must
gotten
have,
better.
Must have progressed from then onwards.
Yeah, that's...
And then my other story to do with Reiki, because it does help people with pain and it does help with healing as well. So I had a young lad who, it was a strange story really. I saw him in a pub and I just happened to say to my husband, he's in a lot of pain. And I said, do you think that he would accept some Reiki? So the story is he'd been burnt in a barbecue fire.
Okay.
So that had burnt all the side of his head, and he'd got these horrendous burns up the side of around his side. So he'd been to the hospital, they'd given him pain relief, which wasn't helping him. He wasn't sleeping. He hadn't slept for about two nights. And you could see from his face he was in terrible pain. So I approached him and asked, I do Reiki and I'm sure it will help you. Do you want to come and have some? So he came the next day, after he had to go to the hospital for a dressing change. They were talking about giving him a skin graft. Because it was that deep it was terrible. His clothes had stuck to him. So anyway, he came for the Reiki and I gave him the session and he went away. I messaged him that evening, maybe because I was quite concerned about him, and he didn't message back. And then later he did, and he said, I can't believe it. I've had no pain all afternoon and I went straight to bed from seeing you.
Wow.
And I have slept for 7 hours.
Oh my God.
So he said that is amazing. He went back to the hospital to have his dressing changed the following day, and they were amazed at how much
it's healed.
Yeah, it was healing.
Oh my God.
The consultant that saw him couldn't believe that. He said, my God, that's just healing so quickly compared to what it was like. And now, because I see him quite regularly, and he always says, I am a true believer in the Reiki and what you did. He said, I don't understand it, but it really helped me.
Oh, that's really
and
good.
he doesn't even have a scar where his burns were, not a scar.
Okay, so you followed him up since
did.
then?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Not even a scar.
Wow, that's some very hard evidence there, isn't it? Wow, that's really good. And if someone is skeptical about let me ask this question. Has there been any time that you yourself were skeptical about Reiki?
Yeah, so very often when I first started, I kept thinking, I'm not sure whether this is, what it is.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll be like, how is it working?
It's really difficult to explain how it works because I don't really know how it works. I mean, my husband always says, the Japanese, they're very clever people, and that's it. Really.
That's it.
Yeah, they do some astonishing things, but so it is really difficult. So there were times when I used to get feelings from people of where to heal and which chakras to go to, and sometimes you pick up a vision. And I usually talk to the person at the end to make sure they're okay, reassure them. And they very often say, I saw this colour, I saw this colour. Because the chakras all have different colours. So if there's a chakra that's out of line, sometimes you can see the colour. And I also can pick up the colour.
Okay.
So when you're seeing it, you think to yourself, am I seeing this? But then when you talk to
they confirm it.
Yeah, and they confirm, then you know that you were. So it can be quite skeptical.
So a lot of people are going through a lot of overwhelm stress.
Yeah.
They feel disconnected in themselves. And what would you tell them? What would you tell them? Just like a general advice, and also maybe trying Reiki. I know there are not many Reiki practitioners around this area, but what would you tell them?
There are a few Reiki practitioners, but I post on my Facebook page. I post stuff that people can do for themselves to help with, whatever trauma that they're going
And
through.
I'll be linking our Facebook page on this, so if you just want to see what she's up to. Okay?
Yeah. So I very often post some self-Reiki. You don't need to be a practitioner to do self-Reiki. You can do self-Reiki on yourself. So I post videos. I call it Self-Care Saturday and Self-Care Sunday.
Okay.
For people who want, who do feel anxious and they want to do it themselves. And it does still help. So yeah.
Okay, so they can start with self-Reiki. Okay,
Yeah.
That's very good. Thank you very much. So with me is Julie Garner. She's the national British champion for the World Raw Power Federation for our age category, that's 60 to 69. She's also, in 2024, she actually won the British, the European, and the world record in power lift for 60 to 69 year category. And she's here live in the Free to Being podcast studio. Welcome. It's a honor to have you around here. So one thing I like about you is that you do not allow age to be a defining thing or even a variable at all in your life. You kind of just do it. You do it. And you told me about the time before you started powerlifting. Could you just walk us through that journey?
Yeah.
What you were like, your energy, your aura, or your chakra, or whatever, before that, and what it is.
Before my powerlifting.
Yes.
So I've always been a believer that exercise helps with your mental health and your well-being. Physically and mentally. So I have always, through my sort of whole life, from a very young child, done some form of sport activity.
Okay.
So I've did karate for about 7 years. I took up running for numerous years until I couldn't. And that was what then developed me into doing the weightlifting. So it was purely because of age.
Yeah.
I started suffering with my menopause symptoms. I ended up with achy joints and just generally feeling sluggish and slow, which affected my running. So I couldn't run anymore. So somebody suggested go to a gym, as weightlifting is good for you physically and it's good for your bones, and it will build your muscles, and for longevity it's a good thing. So I started lifting light weights, never ever expected that I would end up doing what I'm doing now. I just happened to have met, and I will say he's an amazing coach, because he really is an amazing coach.
That Coach Carter? Coach?
Yes.
Yeah, because I see it on your Facebook.
Paul Carter. So, with his help and development of me, I've managed to get myself so that I have won these titles at these events, competitions. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite impressive. You can see a picture of both of us holding a medal on there. I'm always very excited when I see it. And you mentioned menopause, because a lot of people watching will be a lot of people struggle with the menopausal symptoms, and when they slow down that way, people just give up and just slow down and stop. What are your advice? Because she's also an AMP, a advanced nurse practitioner, and she has specialist in menopause also. She has so many titles.
So I always try and advise women to, because you can feel stressed, you can become anxious. Age is not a nice thing for people, because you change when you start to age, men and ladies. But so whenever I see any ladies who are suffering with their menopause, I really try to encourage them. You must move, you must get to a gym, do activities, lift weights. It's good for your bones, it's good for your muscles. It really does help with people's aches and pains that you do feel, and it will help you. If you fall, you can get up. And simple things like sitting in a chair, getting up out of a chair, it really helps with all of those as well. The normal day-to-day activities, you will be able to do them better if you can lift weights. It will help you mentally and physically.
And just like menopause, also a construct called fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, all these kind of things. When patients come to me and I'm advising them to, like menopause, and I say, try and get more, they more active. They kind of are not happy with that advice, because they're like, I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm tired. I can't move. So how did you overcome that phase?
When you start to do the activities, you actually get a rush of energy, and you have to keep going and doing the activity, and this rush of energy ends up lasting longer and longer. So when they say that you do end up with more energy, it's true, you do end up. I never sit down. I'm 61 years old and I never sit down. I am always on the go, still working, still busy at work, busy at home working, and going to the gym. And it seems the more that I do the activities and the lifting, the more energy that I seem to have.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. So it's just about, even though there's something that Morgan Freeman, the actor, said. He said that the best advice he had, that's why he's still very active in his old age, is never let the old man in.
Yes.
So he fights with the old
saying.
man. So he fights with the old man. So when he feels like, oh, I'm just going to stay here, he just says, no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. And he finds out that when he actually starts doing something actively, then the energy follows up with it. But the energy doesn't come first.
No.
It's you doing something that comes, then the energy follows.
Yes, that's correct.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is, and it's true. It does.
Okay, so you went to win the World Raw Powerlifting British record, 60 to 69 category. Can you describe the moment that you realized you had achieved that? How did that make you feel? Because that's quite a feat, from you not even doing anything to...
So it was a big, for me, it is a big achievement. The World Raw Powerlifting Federation British record that I won, I didn't even expect on that particular day that I was going to do that, to get that achievement. I was entering the competition, and I just wanted to lift the weights. You get three chances, and I didn't even know. I walked out to go and do the lift, and then I heard over the tannoy that this is a British record attempt. So
at that moment, that's what you...
moment.
Oh my God!
So I was that minute, my adrenaline literally went up.
That putting you on the spot.
Yeah, really putting me on the spot. So I knew at that particular moment I really had to give it everything that I had to achieve that. So that is very special.
That's very good. You should be proud. You should be proud of yourself. And so, how has powerlifting helped you with your mental health and your well-being? I know you are into Reiki, which could help, but in itself, just powerlifting itself, do you think that has helped you?
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely has helped with my mental health. I do still suffer. You can't say that you don't. My childhood was quite traumatic, and that never goes away. It's just how you deal with it as you get older. And going to when you walk in the gym, it has a strange feeling. It's almost like the outside world is left outside, and you walk in, and it just feels comforting, and it feels relaxing. There are all these people doing the same stuff as what you're doing, so they all understand the reasons for why you're there. I think most people who go to the gym are either suffering with anxiety, or they're dealing with something very personal, to be there, and it helps you to release the
tension,
the anguish that you are experiencing, and you always come out feeling amazing. So you kind of go, that was worth it, I feel great, and you walk up the road with a big smile on your face because of what you've achieved. Yeah.
Okay. People, when they have when we have a lot of mental health issues, anxiety, depression, a lot of times it stems from how people view their bodies.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? They feel that people are judging them for how they look, how they present, how they appear to the world, and sometimes it's just in the mind, really, and it's not true, but that's what people deal with. How do you feel powerlifting, or rather just going to the gym, have affected how you see yourself? Itself?
So I think because the weightlifting does tone you, so your muscles become
firm,
more prominent and firm. And I think when you look into the mirror and you see and feel how good you look, then boost in confidence.
Confidence.
So I mean, me personally, before that, I used to look in the mirror and think, oh, I've got like flabby bits, and this is all aging. And when you see yourself toning, then you start to realise that it gives you a boost in your own confidence. And then if you can feel better in yourself, then you're not so bothered by the appearance of what others think you look like.
Because you can see yourself and you like what you see.
And you like what you see.
I have a theory, it's not really my theory, but about being able to achieve little goals that you set for yourself is actually what sets you up for happiness.
Yes.
Because if you don't really have any goals to achieve, you don't really know what you can what happiness really. When you achieve one goal, that really sets you up. Now, exercise and going to win the powerlifting champion is a lot of discipline.
Yes, it is.
How did you go through that journey of discipline? Not seeing the results until of course that day. But how do you keep up with discipline?
So I just make myself go to the gym at the same time every week on the same days. So I always go to the gym on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and I always go on a Thursday at 10 o'clock, and I go on a Sunday, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, depends when I get up. So I think making those times available to me makes me go, and I want to achieve. I want to get more rewards. The rewards are the bit that give you that extra boost. Excitement, that extra boost of adrenaline, that extra them extra endorphins, and it's all good. It's all good feel stuff. So attending and going at those times every week, and allowing myself to go at those times every week, is how I remain disciplined.
Oh, that's quite good. And before we go, there'll be someone listening right now who is either having some problems with anxiety, confidence, or there are some people that are around their menopause or fibromyalgia and they can't actually have the energy to do this.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to these people listening right now?
So my advice would be to just start. You don't have to achieve big steps. Keep your steps really small to start off with. One step in the right direction is better than a big stride that you're not going to achieve. So by making very small steps and getting yourself moving. I remember having a conversation with a lady once just about walking. And she said, I can't go out and I can't walk. And I said, well, walk in your house.
Oh, wow.
Just walk up the hallway. By you walking to the bathroom in your hallway and then walking back, do that, maybe that as one, then the next day do 3, the next day do 4, and just extend it day to day to day. And then eventually you'll be able to go outside, walk to the end of your driveway and back. Nothing has to be big. You don't have to go out and walk a mile. You don't have to go out and run a mile. You only need to do small steps, and then that will progress, because those small steps will still make you feel really, really good.
Yeah. Wow, that's quite good. So people should not be aiming to be the power lifter the national British champion just now.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you can walk to the end of your drive, you're probably a national British winner for walking to your drive.
Yeah.
And you can put that to your titles, and
exactly.
at least once you have those goals set and you achieve them. So I always say happiness is when goals are achieved in a sequence.
Yes.
And it can be any goal.
Yeah, any goal.
Just write it down.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be big. It just needs to be an achievable goal.
Wow. Thank you very much, Julie Garner, for being with me on this Free to Be podcast. It's been wonderful to have you here, and I'm sure that many people would actually gain immensely from the inspiration and motivation that you are giving out today. And since this is a Free to Be podcast, we have to end it with a dance.